don't everybody talk at once. Welcome to Night Talk with Joe Roxx, and of course, we are Joe Roxxless, as you would say. That doesn't come out right, but yes, we are without Joe Roxx tonight. He is plowing. I know that sounds so sexy. Yeah. How do you dock zero? How do you dock it lower than zero? You can't. Yeah. Is that called, what is that, Greece? The negative interest rate? Yeah. Yeah. Rub it in. I got to work. I had to take my dad to the dock. I had to take my dad to the doctor today, so I got into work late. And I went into work, and the power was off. Our building power was off. We had 30, 40 mile an hour winds today, so anytime in the park it takes down a tree limb or whatever, it knocks out our power, it seems like. So our power was off. It was 59 inside the building. It was a little cool, and the wind was just howling. No. You know what we set our house? You know what we set our house in the wintertime? 62. Well, yeah, we set it at 62, and in the summer, it's set at 78. No, we can't. It's just the way we. Jimmy, you're echoing back. Yeah, we. In the summertime, a lot of times I'll have to crank it down after I've been at the golf course all day because that's 78 is not a relief when you walk in after it's been 100, outside. So, but 62 in the wintertime, I don't mind throwing on an extra blanket when you sleep, and then you're fine. And also, I just wear like a sweater around the house, and you're all right. I'm sorry, I can't. I know Jimmy might be able to pull off what do they call that? The way you were saying it was. No. The ones where you got the open shoulder, whatever. The cold shoulder. No, I can't. See, that just wouldn't be me. I don't even like wearing tank tops. I mean, this is as close I get to a tank top. This is a vest over top of a shirt. No. This is my tank top right here, and it's over top of a shirt. My son's looking at me right now, kind of half smiling at me, because he knows I wear a vest all the time. Or prop. I think that, yeah. There are, well, he gets inaugurated on the 20th. So then you don't count the day of, so it's 21. The thing that, before we get into that, I did want to talk about a couple other subjects, just to kind of give Joe a little substance to what we talk about. But have you heard about all the mall fights that have been going on? Even my dad, who's going to be 83 next month. Brought it up to me when I took him to the doctor today. He's like, he goes, can you believe all those mall fights? And I said, yeah, there were like 15 states. I mean, they were all over the place. One of them, it was on social media. They said, hey, come on, we're going to have a fight out here or whatever. But I have no idea. No, this is just kids fighting. And they, well, I'm sure it. Well, I'm sure there's a lot of gang-related stuff where it was, you know, but there was something about it was organized through social media. They were thinking they're not sure exactly, and a lot of the kids I'm sure went out there because they wanted to watch the fight and ended up getting involved in the fight because you don't realize, you're going out there to watch, and next thing you know, you're involved in it because you're stupid enough to go watch. Well, some of the malls, there was these two girls. They're like 15 or 16. They were going to go to the mall, and they went to go in. And this is on the day after Christmas, the 26th, which is the biggest. They got like 65,000 people at this one mall. They said, and they denied them entry because they had no adult supervision. And they said because in past times they've had problems with the kids fighting in the mall the day after Christmas. They all meet up and fight. So unless they had an adult with them, they didn't let them in. And the kids said, yeah, we went and watched a movie somewhere else, but they were a little surprised by it. But yeah, I tell you what, I think it's smart. You see these kids, they get into the food court, and then they start acting, fool when you got 200 of them or whatever. They said one of them, where they actually had police officers, they said the atmosphere was totally different. You could tell something was going on. And then all of a sudden it broke out. I mean, you can tell when it gets agitated. So, 200... Well, I talked about it on my show last night. They were in, was it Chicago? Let's see here. I can actually go through and I was just real surprised at how many fights there were, how many different malls in 15 states. And a couple of them thought that there was actually gunshots, but it ended up being a guy or some kid slammed a chair and it broke on the ground and made a crack, and they all thought it was a gun. So, I mean, you could really turn into a dangerous thing. Let's see here. I got, here, this is the article about the kids getting turned away. Let's see here. They said, this is going through, it says, Indianapolis, Memphis, Tennessee. I don't think I have all the names in this article here, but I mean, I tell you what, it can be when you get 200 kids. It's very hard to stop a fight like that. You can't. A lot of departments don't have that much police to be able to handle that. So you 200 kids at one time, and that's. When I was a kid, we used to go to the mall, but we didn't go and get in fights. Oh, yeah, we used to get swatted. You used to get the old paddle. You used to get the paddle in school. The thing that bothers me with that statement is Why make that statement? Because you couldn't have all that was trying to be cocky, and that has no. He doesn't even need to make that statement. I don't think it was his dog. Speaking of your dog is whining right there. Something couldn't like wearing that doesn't like doesn't like wearing that bow in that thing. You got it too tight or something. So I got a message from Cindy. She's not gonna be able to make it on tonight. She says, please let Joe know and the others I won't be on tonight, or I won't be off work in time to call in. But she did says, tell everyone I said love, peace, and chicken grease, and Happy New Year. So she's going to try to come on my show tomorrow. So, but I told her I would. So, yeah. I can't wear them. I wear. Yeah. When you see. Hey, I want to know what. Maybe you can tell me. Cindy would probably be a good one to answer this question, but you'll probably be able to tell me, Kimberly. When do guys, and this is one that drives me nuts, is guys that get older and they wear the frickin' hat backwards. When you got gray hair, I agree. Hats off at dinner. But what I'm talking about is just out on the street, you see guys that are way bad Santa. No, it's guys I see come golf, and they're guys that are business guys that are in their, late 40s, early 50s, and they got a hat backward. And I'm like, I friends of mine that I know, and I'm like going, God, you just want to tell them, turn your hat around. It looks so stupid. No, I see that, and I'm like going, come on, what do you? I just shake my head, and you see these people with their hats on backwards, and they're 50 years old, and I'm like, come on, you're not, 17, 18. You're not. No, I don't know. It's goofy to see that. It's a weird thing. Another thing, it's been so big in the news. Carrie Fisher dying, and then her mom dying the next day. I mean, how stressful is that? But the thing I didn't like is Carrie Fisher passes away. And Cinnabon puts out a picture, as a side face, kind of a drawing of Carrie Fisher. And she always wore the buns for the, her hairdo. They put a Cinnabon where her bun would be on the side of the head. And it said, you still have the best buns in the galaxy. And they got forced to take it down and I had to apologize for it. I mean, give me a break. I'm like, what? That was not anything to be mean to her. It was paying a tribute to her. Oh my God! And then Steve Martin, he made a comment that she was, the first time he saw her, he goes, she was the most beautiful thing he'd ever seen. He goes, and then I got to talk with her, and she was smart and witty too, or whatever. And he was like, the PC police attacked him because they said, oh, so in other words, you're being a misogynist, saying that she couldn't be smart and witty where she's beautiful. And I was just like going, so he deleted his tweet. And then people were more mad because he deleted his tweet. And I was like, oh, it's not going to be gone. Did you see that Germany is talking about fining Facebook $522,000 a day for every fake news article that's on, if it's on over 24 hours after it's been deemed fake news. That's impossible to police. Oh, they just deny it. It's not a problem because they just deny having a problem. It's like saying I'm not. It's like somebody that's an alcoholic saying I'm not an alcoholic. Well, yes, you are, but you just won't admit it. You know. I almost think that he's trying to start a fight with him before he gets out. The stuff that went on with in Israel, with what he did with the UN, has just got bipartisan, criticism against it, where they're both sides are saying it's 50 years of relations with Israel, and then all of a sudden he trashes it now, and he's getting to the point where he's trying to do is trash Israel so bad that the whole Middle East goes against him, and that's what he's. Well, I don't think I go that far. I don't like to see anybody. I don't believe in the death penalty. I'm sorry. Nope, because the reason why is I said I didn't watch it. I don't believe in the. I believe that they need to do is sit in jail and just suffer. I don't believe they should get everything. I don't know. I don't think the death penalty is a deterrent, because the reason why is you look at how many murders we got nowadays, and people aren't the most murders are a crime of passion, where they it's not like they premeditated and decide to do this. You got some that are, but most of them that are killed people is usually premeditated. They went off and went and lost it. I understand. I have no problem with somebody believing that. I just don't believe it's a deterrent, because I don't think that solves. So that's why they shouldn't get it. That Sheriff Joe Arpaio or whatever, he made him sleep out in tents, I think it was. Hey, were you guys talking about me when I was gone? don't have a bleeding heart. I just don't. No, I do not. Yeah, that's me. I'm the nice guy. I just don't think it. I just don't believe that it solves the problem and deters them. Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, yeah. Well, the thing I don't like about the serial killers that they need to do, they should be treated differently when they go to prison. Because the reason why is they shouldn't have any contact with anybody else. They need to suffer. You know, they need to be put out, and they talk, oh, it's inhumane. Yeah, that's what they call it. But if they do, yeah, okay. So let's say they go to do the death penalty, and they're going to do the no, but I'm talking about it. Let's say they're going to do the needle or whatever it is, where they do the lethal injection. No, but I'm not talking about that. But I'm just saying is when they do that, and then they'll go, well, it took them 45 minutes for them to die, and they gasp, and I mean, well, what do you expect? What they were going to do? It's not like you're putting to sleep a dachshund that just had I mean, they're putting down a human. I mean, it's just not a natural. I would not want to be the one that has to do it. Well, you're not gonna rehabilitate somebody like that, and that's the problem. Is they've been, they get them in prison and they sit there and they go, okay, well this pedophile, he's been rehabilitated. We're gonna give him parole, and I'm like, when he gets out, he's gonna do the same thing again. I don't have any. No, but I don't want the guy. It's not that I don't care about him being released. I think they need to do a better job of keeping tabs on him while he is released. They need to have somebody that watches them more, that pays attention to what they're doing, because the reason why is when they do get released, most of these guys go and will, go around with the ice cream truck and, try to pick up kids. They'll do anything. I just... that's same age as my son. No, that's the same age as my son. My son's 11. How do you get enticing out of that? Oh no. They all right, I got one for Jimmy here. This is maybe I don't know. Jimmy might know about this. He might not. But did you know that there's An illness tied to smoking weed on the rise. Illness. It's called, the answer is called cannabinoid hypermemesis syndrome, CHS. It's caused by heavy long-term use of various forms of marijuana. And what they do is they end up getting nausea and vomiting. And it's relieved by taking hot showers or baths. They said a lot of people... Well, they people have going in, and they're going in Colorado, and patients are going to the emergency room diagnosed. They're thinking they got real stomach problems, and then they're finding out that it has to do with them. A lot of them won't admit that they're smoking pot because they're afraid of the, the stereotype. Oh, no, I'm not doing anything like that. And then they find out that it's from the drug, but Jimmy been smoking since he was 4. I heard yeah, that's why Jimmy's only 5'3". That's why Jimmy's only 5'3". How tall are you, Jimmy? He's a half a foot over. Yeah. I was going to say, oh, crap, but smoking cigarettes. They had a lady on, and this guy wanted to date her, and it was on some of these morning talk shows, and they do the call-ins, and the lady was trying to say how they had just made up all the stuff about cigarettes being bad for you, that it's not true, and blah 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 this, and I said, why would they want to stop you when they get all the taxes from it? No answer? That's it. I think they're going to do is they're going to start bringing all these Syrian refugees into the trailer parks in New Hampshire. Was it lit on fire? Did you see they had also one, I can't, lights up. Oh, Christmas lights. Did you see that some lady, and this happened, this isn't the first year it's been, but they had a toy gun turn-in. What you did is you turned in your toy guns for different toys because they were trying to get kids to stop playing with toy guns. Oh, well, they're trying to get him away from that gun mentality. They said, you tell me, you look at agree, but they're talking about okay. You're talking about I agree. Oh, that's. I've heard them where they sit there and they put their hand up in the shape of a gun, and they get in trouble. Um, I got. I gotta be give my school credit for my kid goes to. I think it was last year or the year before. He took one of the primers for the use for setting nails. You stick it in that. It's a nail driving gun, and all it does is you stick. It's like a blank. You stick it in there and it drives the nail into the ground. He took one of those. It has no actual projectile in it, but he took one of those to school thinking it was a bullet, to show his buddies. And the teacher found it, and all she did was she taped it to a piece of paper and with a note, please tell him and get him to understand not to bring this back to school. And I was like, hey, most schools, this kid would have been expelled. Oh my God, it's a bullet. What's he doing bringing that, And no, I just told him. I said, hey, this isn't something you take to school, buddy. And explained to him why. Yeah. Yeah, see, they told me, she just sent me a note. And I said, that's overboard. When they start going to that. Well, my wife was talking about they were doing a Secret Santa, the kids for school. And this is, they're fifth grade. And she goes, what do you think we ought to get the one kid a Nerf gun? I said, you can't give him a Nerf gun. And he goes, why not? I said, you can't give him any gun or anything resembles a gun to school. And she goes, oh, I never thought of that. So, I mean, just, that's how bad it's got in schools to where they can't even, well, they get you to panic and freak out. Oh, we can't do that. So, but when I was a kid, I used to play Army like you were talking about, Jimmy. We did the same thing. But you look at all, not yet, at least. No, you look at, you look at the old cartoons. They're talking about all the violence in the video games. You look at the old cartoons; they were all that way. You look at old Foghorn Leghorn and what was Elmer Fudd he's trying to blow away. He's trying to, and then Wile E. Coyote was trying to kill the Roadrunner. I mean, that was just. All the cartoons are based on violence. You look at the what was the mouse or whatever it is, Mickey Mouse. He was always trying, he was always causing problems. Yeah, I mean, it was all based on violence. And then they sit there and they talk about how the cartoons are too violent these days. These kids are. No, it's not the cartoons. It's the society. The society when they go to school and they got a teacher that sits there and talks about how they're. That they're so wrong at everything they do and turns them into mush. When they're sitting there telling, I got people sitting there, kids are going to school and they're saying, oh, well, you have white privilege. And I'm like, well, the white privilege doesn't allow me to not get a speeding ticket or something like that. I mean, I'm sorry. There's... Well, Jimmy, really, they do have these new surgeries for you if you really want to go at it. That has a lot to do with it. But you look at Dr. Ben Carson. He's a brain surgeon. He grew up in the projects. He grew up in government housing and stuff like that. And Trump wanted to make him he wanted to make him HUD director. Yeah, and they told him they wanted to make him the. But you think about that. Trump wants to make him the HUD director, and the Democrats said he's not qualified. Well, he only grew up in HUD housing. He understands what it needs to. He understands what you need to do to grow up in HUD housing and still succeed. It's gonna be interesting. He says after he gets done that he wants to stay in Washington and be very active, whatever that means. I don't know, but I don't. Well, there's been a lot of companies. I think it's going to be very beneficial towards smaller businesses, which it hasn't been lately. You get a lot of smaller businesses that have, paying 35%, 39% in business taxes, which is high. And that's the thing is that it kills me is that people. It's just like the football players and in baseball and basketball players where they want profit. Well, they want profit sharing, but they don't want to pay any part of the expenses to get to the profit sharing. They don't want to pay. Did you see how much you're spending? Wow, it's outrageous. Do you see the lady that they always say you don't dump the person right before the holidays? And what she did was, well, she dumped this, or she got dumped by this guy right before Christmas. And the girl had bought him tickets for the Cowboys game. What an idiot. That's pretty pathetic. Yeah, that's pretty pathetic. It's like the old saying is the grass is always greener on the other side, but you never know. That grass on the other side might be fake. Yeah. Or poison, right. Yeah, it's, they had one this morning, and I couldn't believe the lady was so, and I just, they were talking about, she was upset, and she wanted advice about, she'd married her husband, and he was an attorney, and she drove an Audi and blah, 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 whatever. And so he got tired of his job and he quit and became a teacher and made about half the money he was making before. And so now they weren't able to go on all these vacations and they didn't have as much money. And she had to get rid of her Audi, and now she was driving a Kia and she hated it and all this. And she was so upset with it. And she got mad and offended when they called her a gold digger. And she said that she wasn't working and she didn't think she had to work because of to make more money. She didn't care whether her husband was happy or not. All she cared whether she was happy or not. And I was like going, yes, he did, because he's going to find out if he waits too long. And they go, unless he's flipping loaded and he's going poop, 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 and doing the money like this to her, You know? She's going to be happy until the money train stops. Yeah, it's yeah. Yeah. That's Jimmy. There goes. Hey, he said he had there was no terrorism attacks in the U.S. and then he said there was also no um, conspiracies, and I'm like, hello, how about Benghazi, Fast and Furious, the VA, the IRS? I mean, God, we could go list. I mean, there's like 20 of them, and I don't know if he's the most. Well, the one that gets me is the internet one, where they're going to create the new. Um, what is it? Oh, it's called. It's got a name for it. Special name. It's kind of like a. What it is? It's the internet police. They pretty much. That's a way of talking. And he signed that on Christmas, over Christmas. I think it was a Friday or Saturday before Christmas. Yes. Let me see if I. Oh, it's called Ministry of Truth. They what I like about it is, what happened about it. I don't know who did it, but Vladimir Putin says, he goes, if I could hack your stuff and cause you to election to be changed, he would have never got elected in 2012. So, but you look at the Democrats are more, they want to blame everything on Russia. They're not denying all the crap that came out with Hillary, that what she did was wrong. But, well, I don't think she's got away with it completely yet. But, so they sit there and they go, whatever she's done, and they're not saying that she was a bad candidate or anything. Well, I understand that. You and I both agree with that. But the thing I'm talking about is the Democrats are still saying that it's because of Russia. That's why we found out that she was a bad candidate. Not that she... Oh, I agree. Because the reason why I don't know what... How long are we on for, Jimmy? Well, it goes till, we got it till 11:30, right? Oh, okay. All right. So, but you look at, everything that came out. They're not denying the content of all the emails and all the stuff from WikiLeaks, but they're saying that it was hacked from Russia. So they want to do is blame Russia for it. And I don't think Russia had anything to do with it. I think that they want to pin it on them. And he's even saying, show me the proof. Well, they said, well, don't you believe? They said, don't you believe in what the CIA is? I said, well, CIA was the one who gave George Bush, the weapons of mass destruction. And the Democrats have been beating that drum to death, saying there was no weapons of mass destruction because his briefings said that there were. They were talking about that the chemicals that they were going over there. They had these inspectors going, and supposedly within 10 miles of where these inspectors at, Assad's gassing people and attacking. But I'm like, think about that. I don't think he was. I think they were making it look like he was. I can believe that people are being gassed, but I don't think it's as... but also, do we know that Assad actually did it? I'm just saying, I think it was made to look like that. Well, they also have video of a war-torn Aleppo and this young girl's running through all the... Yeah, and it's taken right out of a music video. If you look at them, they show them the music video side by side, and this is the mainstream media pumping this crap out. Yeah, see, they want to do is turn it into... See, that's the thing is a lot of times that, they'll come out with... information in the media, exact propaganda. Well, you look at CNN. They sit there and they do a report like they're in two different locations and they're in the same parking lot on different ends of it, and the cars are driving behind them. and you see the truck go by with it written on the side, a UPS truck or whatever, and all of a sudden here it comes by here like 2 seconds later over here, and they're like not smart enough to figure that out. You look at the photoshopping they did for her crowds. I mean, they made even Joe Biden says he saw the crowds that Trump was turning out, and he says, we could lose this thing. Because the reason why, well, no, but I mean, this is when it was going on. He was just seeing how enormous the groundswell was for Trump. And the thing about, did you see the bomb scare that went on at the Trump Tower the other day? They had a backpack. Well, the thing about it is, okay, let's say I want to create something. Let's say I drop off a backpack full of toys. First day you find it's full of toys. Then a couple of weeks later you find another one, and it's got paper supplies and all kinds of stuff in it, and books. And then the third time it's another backpack with with all different kinds of junk in there. And then the fourth time you're like, it's just another backpack. You start to let your guard down. I'm not saying that's what it is, but that's a good way to do it. But you look at the thing I didn't like was, and MSNBC even come out and said it looked really bad against de Blasio. The Trump administration, transition team. It was his chief of staff, I think it was, the one that's going to be appointed, whatever. He tweeted NYPD and commended them on how great a job they did, with their response for this, suspicious package or whatever, or bag. And you know what de Blasio tweeted back? We'll send you the bill. I mean, just how petty that is. You tell me they build the NYPD. NYPD sent the U.S. government a bill for $35 million for all the money for paying for protection for Trump. And I guarantee you, if Hillary Clinton would have been elected, you would have never seen that bill from New York. New York would have paid that bill themselves. No, it's de Blasio. Yes. He was on TV, and he was going to submit the bill to the government to pay for extra, police support and everything like that. Oh, I think they got enough money. I think they... He's got a book deal. If you get insider tips for stock stuff, look at what's her name? Martha Stewart went to jail. Who is the one who just had an insider trading stock tip, and they were talking about they could be prosecuted for it. Somebody just recently, it was in the news. They were trying to find out somebody that, that stuff's a little scary when you sit there. But, if you get a phone call from, let's say, your stock guy. My stock guy, one time I had some Sirius radio stock. I still have it, matter of fact, because he says, I bought it. It was like a little fun stock and Sirius XM, It was like I don't know, 1,500 shares of it or whatever I bought. And so it was like $3 a share or something. And so I said, okay, 308. I think I bought it at. He goes, it was like going up, boom, 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 got up to 9 something. He goes, I think we ought to sell that. And I said, well, when it gets over 10, we'll sell it. It got to like 980 something, and then it went whoo, off the cliff, and it was all the way down to like 26 cents. I was like, oh my god. I was like, holy crap! Now it's worked its way back up, and right now, let's see. I can tell you, it is. Let's see, stocks. I got it on my ticker here because I like to watch it just because it's a funny one. It is currently at 447, so I'm actually in the positive. But it was just kind of funny. I was like, yeah, when it goes over $10, let's sell that thing. And it was like it teased me to 10, got to like 980 some, and dropped like a rock. So I deal in shrink funds. That's what I consider it, you know. Oh yeah, it was one of those that was kind of a fun stock to buy, and I got a friend of mine bought 1,000 shares of it at $1, and I mean I think he sold his at 9 something. I was just like, so he probably made a good deal out of it, you know, made 10 grand out of it or 9 grand, but or close to. But me, I tell you what, nope, didn't work out. And when it got really low, I bought some more. And when they merged with XM, Sirius and XM, that's when it went back up. So, but it hasn't gone anywhere since then. I'd like to have been on that Microsoft when it IPO'd. I knew a lady that was a member at the club who bought Microsoft when it first IPO'd, and she was just freaking multimillionaire. Just sickening. Just off of one stock. So, I mean, I don't know. She bought. It doesn't matter. You buy like 1,000 shares of it or whatever it is. When it first IPO'd, it's split so many times and gone up in value and split, and gone up and split, and her stocks are just. I mean, they say it's she was wealthy before, you know, Microsoft. But I mean, just to tell you how long back that is. That's crazy. I got some kids coming up. My daughter's home from college. I got my son who's 17 with a couple of his buddies are coming over, and I can't do pretty much anything. I'll be home. No, that's I call that amateur night. If you're gonna go out on New Year's, get an Uber, get a cab, get something, Lyft. I don't care what it is. Yeah, get something. Get. No, it's not worth the. And if you get caught, that's. Wow, that's just nasty. I mean, how much they ding you for. I agree 100%. Yeah, it's anything else going on in the news that you guys hear? Oh yeah, 2 of them. Yeah, I saw that. No. No, he. Well, they had that. They had that his birth certificate. That Joe Arpaio, the sheriff, who researched that thing for 5 years. He didn't do it. He had two investigators, separate investigators, research it, and they actually found. Well, this is what they feel. This is their. You can go online, you can watch it, where they actually show the video of how they took and they they take the the text from one birth certificate and put it onto his, and they show how it was done. It was a birth that was 2 weeks from his, supposedly. Yeah, it's kind of weird when you watch it. They said there's 9 points of where they can prove that it's been altered. So, but no media will ever cover that because they don't want to be, they don't want to be look like they're against anything. I mean, if the FBI were involved in that and they proved that thing beyond a shadow of a doubt, nobody would believe it. Nobody believes anything that comes out like that. Oh, I agree. I agree, but the problem is they'll never come out with it because they could never. I just don't see him doing anything. I agree that the stuff that they did for Benghazi, which they totally ignored those, and I just don't think they'll ever do anything to him. It's kind of like going back. People sit there and they talk. I've had shows on 9/11. I've had shows on Sandy Hook. I've had shows, and people go, "Do you really believe that stuff?" And I said, "I can show you stuff that'll bake your brain." And people look at it, and I said, "Let me put it this way: easy way to do you believe that John F. Kennedy was shot by one bullet? By Lee Harvey Oswald with one bullet?" And they go, "No, there had to be somebody on the grassy knoll or had." I said, "Do you believe that's a conspiracy theory, or do you seriously believe that there was another shooter?" And then 99% of the people I talk to say, "I believe there's another shooter." So that means to tell me that you think the government that went a big investigation that didn't interview everybody involved was lying to us. No. Yes, I know that. I don't know if I've never heard any story to prove it or heard anything about it. I just know that he died at the time. You think of that Kennedy family. Tell me that they didn't have a lot of grief in that family. How the way the things happened. You look at John F. Kennedy assassinated, Bobby Kennedy assassinated, JFK Jr. dies in a plane crash. I'm like, come on, Just weird occurrences for that family. But well, didn't he end up? No, but didn't somebody Chappaqua or something like that, where some? Would they crash off the bridge? Was he drunk or something? Yeah, you look at that whole family was plagued by all kinds of, but you look people, going back. Do you believe that they were John F. Kennedy was shot with, by one shooter, and then they talk about Bobby Kennedy. I don't know if you've ever seen that documentary about where they said that Sirhan Sirhan had an 8-shot revolver, and they talk about whether he actually was the only shooter. And there was supposedly that CIA had brainwashed him, wound him up, and put him out there to go shoot him. And there was more bullets pulled out of the wall than Sirhan had in his gun. They said that there was a possible that there was one police officer that was there that might have been the one that did the fatal shooting. So, people think, oh, the Russian ambassador, yeah. Well, he was a 22-year-old, part-time security guard or whatever, and I don't know, what it has to do with that. But then they found another Russian ambassador dead the day after that. So, yeah, there's some weird stuff going on right now. But, people go, do you really believe that Sandy Hook was faked? And I said, well, I don't know if it was faked. But there's a lot of things that aren't adding up about it. I could show you stuff. No, I'm not talking about those. I'm not talking about those kids. I'm talking about stuff that is involved in that. I got they got videos of pictures of one guy that was involved that says his kid died, and he's walking around as a SWAT officer all day long that day. I mean, there's a ton of stuff that's been researched from that. No. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that, it's the perception of reality. It's what they show you. And they want it to be where, we can't sit there and report on a show like we're talking right now because we would be considered fake news. So we would have to sit there and, get all our information from the mainstream. I'm like, come on. What's to say that they're reporting anything that's straight? You look at Fox and CNN. They'll get the same news. They'll respond to the same shooting or whatever it is, and it'll be totally different how they report it. Because just give us the facts. That's it. Did you see how that one restaurant in Hawaii posted on their door that if you voted for Trump, they don't want you to eat there? And I'm like, we won't, sir. But the thing about it is, why would you be, as a business, alienate 60-some million people? Yeah. I mean, I agree. Well, I don't like when they sit there and they they post on a business where they say we're a gun-free zone or whatever. Don't bring your guns in here. You tell me that criminal's going to go, oh darn it, they're gun-free now. We can't go rob it. I mean, yeah, they called making it a target-rich environment. That's what they call it. Yeah. They, what's his name? He was, Joel Alaskey. He was a vocal artist. I'm trying to think of who he did. He did, Elf. He did the voice for Elf. He died too. You remember? You remember Elf? Yeah, they said somebody posted to go something about 2016 didn't kill Betty White yet, and she. I'm like, that is so cruel. They're so nasty. Oh, she's funny, but I mean, just to sit there and be that bad, you know. Somebody said 2016 didn't kill you, and I posted on. I said, well, the goat died, and that was for the Cubs. You know, they had the curse of the goat. So, but yeah, it says. That was a maid. Yeah, a maid going around the building found it. That's shocking. That's pretty bad. That was when I was listening to Trey Gowdy interview the. Oh, he was interviewed the director. I think it was of the Secret Service, and she didn't know what to do. She was like totally flabbergasted that she couldn't answer the question. She didn't know what to say. Yeah, he is nasty. Well, oh, he's a very smooth. Yes. We're going to get knocked off here in a few minutes. Let me see. Well, it's about that time anyway. We're almost an hour and a half. That's a lot more than what Joe normally goes. But hey, we're filling in. Yeah, he would not have probably lasted this long on this conversation. I know that. He would have been we'd have been. Well, we would have. We I don't mind. I like this. I like talking about this stuff. It's a little different. I like the topics. We can go back and forth, and we both have a opinion about it. But I'd like to do a special thanks to our sponsors out there, Eat24.com. If you ate yet, no. Well, if not, log on to Eat24.com. Download that app for your favorite mobile device. Click, order, and eat. Also, you got Lyft, Lyft. We got HotSauceVault.com. Check out Louis. HotSauceVault.com. You got Hottest of the Hot, Wimpy for the Wimpy, and they got gag gifts, you name it. Also, 132 Ferry Street, Joyce is their choice. She got, check her out. And where's it at, Jimmy? It's in Mass. It's in Everett, Massachusetts. Yep. 132 Ferry Street. And any other ones you can think of? You got Cindy Hobbs. She did her segment. You got Sarah O'Rourke. I love her accent. Yep. Oh, well, Val wasn't on today. I didn't hear Val. Amy Shafalo. I love her wine talk. And then you have, I do, but I don't drink. It's not. No, I didn't say I. Yeah. Jimmy seen me drink on show, right? No. Jimmy seen me drink. But I do is I make sure that my kids aren't going anywhere. Because if my son's going out with his buddies, I don't want to get that call. Hey, Dad, I got in a car accident. Can you come pick me up? And I've been, yeah. Yeah, that's great. Show up there. But no, it's. Can you think of any other sponsors we got, Jimmy? Oh, Savino Vineyards, yeah. Yep. You look on, hey, hotsaucevault.com. They got everything. It's unbelievable. Sriracha. Yeah, you look at their. Yeah, I got a guy who works for me. He puts the Tabasco sauce on there. Yeah. Jimmy puts on oregano. Yeah, sure, it's oregano. Those are special brownies. Yeah. Mary J. Blige. Hey, what? Hey. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, hey, this is happy spaghetti. I got a question for you. Now, Kimberly will be able to answer this question. Jimmy won't be able to, but on New Year's Eve, do you watch the ball drop in New York? Did you always used to trick your kids thinking that 2 hours earlier that it was actually New Year's and they'd go to bed? And to tell your kids that it was New Year's and go to bed, right? You liar. We did the same thing. We did for 10 o'clock. I'll tell you what, I would. Yeah. No. But the thing is I tell you what, the security in New York is going to be unbelievable because of. Oh, they'll be drinking. They'll be drinking. Oh, how do you do that? Yeah, I don't know how you do that with no public restroom. No. I'll pass. $55? Here you go. Yeah, it says not this next Wednesday. High of 19, low of 10. Thursday high of 18, low of 10, and then 19 and 19 Saturday and Sundays, or Friday and Saturday. Yep, that's getting a little. Yeah, I'd like to. I don't think I'd look good in a bikini, but did you see that guy at Walmart with he's sitting there, and I don't know what he was buying, but it was an older man who was bald on top, and had this, I don't, I don't know what it would look like a dress. And there was this other guy looking over. I'm like, what the hell is that? And it's like one of those people of Walmart.com or whatever. And I was just like, this is when it happened to me. We're walking along, and buddy of mine's right next to me, and he goes, what do you think? We're walking behind this big old, look like a trucker, you know? And he goes, guy or girl? And I went, what? And he's from Norway. And he's like tapping me. He goes, is that a guy? What do you think, guy or girl? I said, got to be a guy. Got shoulders big as a house, you know, like this. You know, I mean, they're broad shoulders. Yeah, and boots and, you know, got the jeans and the, you know, the leather jacket and all this walking. Turns around, boobs. I was like, oh, my God, it's Pat. And I was like, oh, my God, I couldn't believe it. And he goes, I told you. I was like, oh, yeah. I was walking, this is church, last Christmas Eve. And my son was doing, he was a altar server. And he's doing the mass. And we get done and we go to leave. And he goes, and my wife says, yeah, you're up there with the whatever. And he goes, Mom, he goes, that's so-and-so. And I'm like, what? And I go, I thought it was up there with two girls, and one of them was a boy. And his hair was curly. He looked like a girl. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. And he was like, I don't know what. I don't wear glasses except for to read. So I only wear them, like right now. Like I can read my computer, but it's I only need. Yeah, I only. Like I can sit there and look at the TV right now across the room that's a little ways away from me, and it's clear as a bell without my glasses on. But the only time I need it is when I got to read the computer screen. And that's. Yeah, see, I was that way before, and I had LASIK done. And I had LASIK done for distance because I'm a golfer, you know. So I had it done so I can see distance fine. And I see, you know, I can read anything from across the room, but up close is when I start to get blurry. So if I get to... No, because it wouldn't have been. Because to do LASIK... I had to have them, you know. They said you could have got the monovision. There's a new one out now. They have it's called a teardrop, and what they do is they lay your lens flat back, and they put it's almost like a teardrop in, but it's a lens, and then they lay the flat back over, and you can see, and it's brand new. Yeah, they were talking about this teardrop, and I just talked to a guy last week about it. He said he just had it done, and he could see perfect up close and distance. What happens is he had one done for close and one done for distance, and they learned to do is control each other. So you learn for one overtakes the other one for distance, and one sees close. They said you get used to it. You don't even realize it. After a while, you don't even realize it. But I tell you what, I talked to one guy who had it done with the regular LASIK, and he said he was going nuts with it. He'd have to close his eye like that, just, you know, and it'd drive him nuts just to be able to see. So when are we gonna? Yeah, Jimmy, when are you gonna shave? Are you going to go? Oh, you're going to go through the whole winter? Or are you going to go for New Year's? My God, you're going to look like bad Santa by the time it's all over. Really bad. on here. I'm like a turnip, fed shit and left in the dark. Not yet. Well, yeah. Okay. Alrighty. Well, call in tomorrow. Cindy will be on. Yeah, Cindy's coming on my show tomorrow night, so yeah, she said she's gonna call in tomorrow. I'll be on at same time as Joe's. It's 9 o'clock Central, 10 Eastern. Same time as tonight. So, all right, everybody have a great night. And we'll see you tomorrow night on Straight Talk with Matt Hazley. But thanks for Night Talk with Joe Roxx. Everybody have a great night. How many days? All righty. You'll be out of Facebook jail.